Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where I just went and looked up when the end date was in Imperator, and turns out it's in 8.5 years. So this might be the last episode, it might be the second to last episode. I was planning on moving into the Seleukid Empire pretty soon and attacking them. I feel like we're not exactly ready for it, judging by this. We would probably have to ramp up a bit. They have multiple legions, so we would certainly want to pass a law, right? If we want to get these missions done by the end of the game, well, for one thing, I don't think we necessarily can. We can always finish the mission, right? We can always do that right before the end of the game, which is on, I think, 1 February 7/27, something like that. We can always do that, and, I mean, this is going to get done. Guaranteed. 684 days on that. Assimilating the Tamils is likely not going to be finished by the time we finish this, unless... No, they have to be specifically Lankan and Buddhist. So that's probably not going to happen by the time the game ends, mostly because we didn't prioritize it early on, because I didn't know that that was coming. So that is definitely something to consider. Getting the Tooth of the Buddha is currently in Sauvira, and that is, of course... I think it's up here. I think the Tooth of the Buddha is in here, not in here. Although we can double check that. Let's see here. I don't think there's any sort of a temple here. Is there one out over this direction? I don't know. Maybe. That's a hard maybe. So, the Seleukids would be a tough fight for us. Could we win it? Maybe. They're Miltech 18 compared to our Miltech 23. I mean, that seems pretty good. But we haven't put all that much into our military. We haven't had issues with our military's strength up till now. So I definitely think that we're going to move these guys down over this direction. And I'd like to force march them. Are they currently locked into movement? They are. So we're going to let them finish their movement here. Eventually. There we go. And we do have some provinces going to rebel. So Shan is going to rebel, like, literally now. Okay. So I'm going to tell these guys to stop moving. We're going to force march them. Oh, they need to not be exiled. Okay. So in that case, we should probably hire mercs out over here. So we'll put those guys onto unit reorg. And yeah, I think that we're just not going to have... We may have time to fight the Seleukids. We may not have time to finish the war against the Seleukids. So these guys are leading their war of independence against us. We're going to walk in on unit reorg. Oh, that's fascinating. So this province rebelled as well. 2,500. We would likely lose that as it is, but they are running away. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to allow these guys to continue to grow their strength. They're currently at 22 September. I'd like to walk in over here and start up a siege. Although they're not on unit reorg. Because we don't own this territory. Fair enough. Now these guys should attack us. I strongly suspect that they would win. So I'm going to go up after this as well. Or rather, instead of coming here. That should be fine. And these guys are still exiled. They'll make their way through eventually. Now, these guys, their goal was to build roads. And they're going to do so. They're going to build roads all throughout here. Building roads where possible. I don't think we can actually build the road in the uninhabitable areas. But we'll build roads all throughout here like so. Cool. And we'll just continue to have a road that goes all along this north and comes down over here, connecting to this road that is pre-existing somewhat. Connecting down like that. Beautiful. Actually, this... Oh, that is a settlement. Okay. Noted. So then we would have a connection that ran up kind of like that. And that would be this northern area. Then we would need to come down over here And we'll build any roads that don't exist along that. But we would build it to be something kind of like this. So then we would connect this out over here, and then this would connect like here, coming on down like so. And where's the actual border here? This is the border? Okay. So these guys would come down to... Yeah, that's the border right there. So these guys would come down to here. And it would be something kind of like this. Yeah. That seems reasonable. And then this down here is pre-roaded. So that's no problem whatsoever. Excellent. What's the Magadin's opinion of us? 128? Yeah, it's going to take some time. Okay. So we're heading up over here. These guys are going to eventually be no longer exiled. Eventually. A grand festival, huh? Integrated culture happiness sounds good. We do have a lot of AE right now. And that would be the primary issue with attacking the Seleukids at this point. But we want to force march these guys, and I want to walk them down to here. Cool. So we'll start up a siege up this direction. And we'll see about bringing these forces in. In the meantime, of course, we're building these roads. Because we're using mercs, it's going to cost us extra money, but that's fine. We don't care. And these guys would rebel in 46 months. Okay. So I'm guessing at this point that the whole Tooth of the Buddha thing is not really in the cards with how close we are to the end of the game. I had hoped that we would have like 20 or 30 more years. I knew it was getting fairly close. But it's definitely closer than I had anticipated, which that's the way it always is with Imperator for me. The end date of Imperator always sneaks up on me. For whatever reason, I expect it to feel lengthwise like Crusader Kings, and it feels more like Europa lengthwise. Is that accurate in terms of the number of years? Hang on, I'm checking here. The start date is 304, so it's 323 years. 323 years. That's about the same length. It's a little bit shorter than 1066 to 1444. Right? Broadly about the same. Definitely not early start date. So yeah, it's roughly Europa length, not Crusader Kings length. But for whatever reason, I always expect it to be Crusader Kings length, and I don't know why. Well, this siege is over, and we're going to head on down over this way and fire up this siege. These guys will arrive eventually. We're going to need to take them off of Force March once they arrive down over here. Our stability increased, sure. They come off of Force March so that they can properly regenerate their morale. Cool. And that'll be fine. We did get a lot done, no doubt about that. But yeah, the end date always sneaks up on me in Imperator. It's very strange. So are they going to siege this back, or are they just going to aggressively siege here? I guess they're aggressively sieging? I don't think that's a good idea for them. These guys can make their way northward. I would like them to come and take over this siege from the mercs, and then we can use the mercs to come fight up here. Cool. Was that the Magadins that we just got that opinion with? Hang on. It was! Beautiful. That's fantastic. I just clicked the positive opinion one without even looking at who it was, and then I was like, hang on a moment. We can annex them now, can't we? Yes, yes we can. This will be done after the game is over. 102 years after the game is over. That's an extremely long integration, but we're still going to start it. Cool. That's an extraordinarily long integration, actually. Wow. Is that due to our AE? Claim fabrication speed, loyalty of subject states, monthly political influence. I'm wondering if there's some diplomatic reputation here. But no, I don't think so. It doesn't seem to have a malice for that. Okay. Well, we're going to grab our mercs, and we're going to head up over here, try to eliminate this army. Cool. And something became a city. Into a true Sumpa city. Okay, sure. We're going to have our territory done here soon. based on how we're doing time-wise here, okay, this is already over. Cool. So this is going to auto-cap here. I'm just wondering if this is going to be the final episode or not. You'll already know because you're a time traveler, but I don't know yet. We'll find out. These guys are force marching up this direction, which is kind of hilarious. We're going to let this auto-cap, but there's actually no reason to. We're going to sue for peace here, and we're just going to take these territories. There we go. We lose half a point of AE. Beautiful. We get rid of these mercs, and these guys are now going to force march their way out over this direction. And these guys are still on force march. They should be moved over to drill. There we go. Beautiful. So the Magadan Empire is being annexed. At this point, of course, it's this territory activity that we're most interested in. We're going to get a mission done here. And that does, of course, mean we know for a fact, right, that we're not going to get the Tamils assimilated or the Tooth of the Buddha done before the end of the game. But I don't think there's any reason to click the finish mission button until, like, right before the end. We can just keep tracking this. And that should be fine. We did just lose a governor out over here, and that is a Naga that we need. Okay, sure. We'll go ahead and put in our provinces here. I want to check in. This should have automatic trade enabled. All of these, in fact, should have automatic trade enabled. Cool. Okay, so sorted by religious unity, we're going to need these to be religious conversion. And then once we get down to here, this is fine being on cultural assimilation. We're going to want to get everything down below here switched over to cultural assimilation. And the question is, do we have enough political power for that? And yeah, an island paradise can be completed. We'll get to that in just a moment. So we'll just get these all switched on over. We're running low on political power. I switched that to bleed them dry. I'm dumb. Okay, we need a little bit more anyway. We wouldn't have quite had enough, so that's fine. We can complete an island paradise. That'll gain us 25 political influence, and we get an innovation here. We were working in our religious advances here. We finished up formulaic worship. Glass blowing is fine, I suppose. For the record, we're still 98 years ahead of time. Okay. We're not going to finish another tech before the end of the game. So this is the last advance that we're going to get. And in that case, I think we're going to grab... Heavy infantry discipline sounds good. We'll go ahead and get that. That's the last thing that we're going to get. Wait, we have 2 innovations. Hang on a moment. So beyond that, what else do we want? Siege ability? Sure. We'll take it. Cool. So that's looking good. We are going to need, of course, to get our last couple of areas dealt with here now that we have the political influence for that. And we'll get these switched over to cultural assimilation. Beautiful. This, of course, being at 100% integrated, doesn't exactly need to be on cultural assimilation at this point. Acquisition of wealth? That sounds good to me. Okay. So that is fantastic. The question now is, what else are we going to do? Well, we're waiting on these guys to make their way over. And where are they going to park? Are they coming all the way over to like, here? They can come over to here. That'll be fine. I really don't think, given our aggressive expansion, that we're going to be able to fight the Seleukids before the end of the game. We're still over 50 right now. So that's not great. I mean, we could just say we don't care. We're 2 years away from these guys rebelling, which probably isn't that big of a deal. A marketplace? Ask them what they want. Sure, that'll be fine. So we're force marching our way over this way. And the question is, if we were to fight the Seleukids, do we think that this is their only forces? No, we don't. If we look at their pop count, it's 15,000 compared to our pop count of... Let's see here. We need to go into, like, here? 11,000. Okay. I want to check in on our military quickly. 108 out of 84. Okay. So we would want to eventually change laws here to be Royal Army. But we need the invention cohorts, which we're not going to have. That's fine. Where is the invention cohorts? I assume that's in the martial advances? Here. Fair enough. Yeah, we skipped a lot of this, right? No doubt about that. Okay, well that seems reasonably fine. We could just fight the Seleukids at the end of the game and just see what happens. If we did that, that would be a next episode sort of thing. I think for this episode, we're mostly just going to chill, but we could move into position here, and then we could have, like, mercs to hold this bottleneck choke point. Yeah, we could definitely do that. There's a 17k stack here. So we would move these guys down over to here. And then we would grab, say, this 22.5 stack. And they would come down... yeah, have him flogged. They would come down over to here, to Masai. Cool. We did lose a governor in Himalaya, and we will definitely replace him. And we also lost a governor over here. Okay. We do need a Vijaya in this position. So we would put in this guy. Okay. So that's going to change around some of our focuses here, right? No doubt about that. Let's go ahead and sort by religious unity like so. This needs to be religious conversion. This needs to be religious conversion as well, but apparently we couldn't change that. Was he disloyal? Hang on. Administration. Because we have 23 political influence here. I'm assuming this guy's disloyal. And so he is. We'll bribe him. That'll be fine for now. And we'll switch these over to cultural assimilation. And now we're lacking the political influence. There's at least 2 more that need to be changed. 3 more? 3 more. Okay. Well, that's fine. We're making our way on over, and we're preparing for this final war against the Seleukids. I have no idea how that'll go. That'll be very interesting. We'll probably end up losing that war, but I'm not sure we'll lose it hard enough to lose it in the last episode. If we end up losing the war, I feel like that's fine. I feel like that's completely and totally fine. Our goals have largely been accomplished at this point, and going out in a blaze of glory sounds completely fine to me. 2054 out of 2674. Yeah, I mean, these numbers are definitely increasing. At a reasonable rate, at that. Okay, cool. And we have these mercs up here that are going to finish up building roads eventually. We can call down an omen. If we're going to fight the Seleukids, we absolutely take discipline. 100%. So that'll be fine. We currently have about slightly over 5 years before the end of the game. These guys I'm going to move down to be here. Cool. And we're going to get these guys drilling for the time being. They're going to have some supply issues here. We're well aware of this. These guys, mercs can't drill, correct? Yeah, mercs can't drill. So they're going to continue heading down this direction and position there. Cool. There's no crossing over here. That's going to be a little bit awkward for us. We have a slave rebellion. And that slave rebellion is over here. I'm going to hire these mercs. And they will make their way over. They'll need to regenerate their morale a little bit. And there's this minor addendum. Sure, we'll take some stability. Cool. Apparently we're looking at our capital now. We also have West Seti rebelling soon. That's in the same area, so we can use these same guys for that. This may end up delaying our plans. We'll see. I'm letting these guys lock in. I don't want to fight them just yet. We'll go into unit reorg. And actually, it's very likely that we would win. I don't believe that. When would we arrive there? Okay, now we're not going to catch them. That's what I want. So that'll be good. We're 27% here. We can cap this back. And we'll see where they're going. For the time being, we know that they're going down here. We're not on unit reorg, and that's okay for the moment. Okay, prosperity is occurring. Sure, we'll take 6 stability. Beautiful. So they're heading over here right now. We're not going to really have the benefit of roadage here. Do we think that we actually win this if we catch them here? The answer is no, but we are currently chasing them. They're heading into Saran, correct? Correct. Okay. So 45% is fine. Yes, these guys are rebelling against us. No shockers there. They're going to arrive here. Okay. Awkwardness ensues. From here, I'm going to force march, and we're going to look to catch these guys. So we need to catch these, and we'll get there soon enough. We have enough morale, I think, at this point to win this battle. So we're going to force march here. That's going to be on 27 July. Okay. And yeah, we absolutely crushed them. Beautiful. And these guys are going to continue to force march down over to here. There we go. We're not going to attack the Seleukids until after this is done. And we may send these forces over to reinforce up here. The slave army didn't get wiped. That's interesting. But the Magadins are coming in over here. I'm hoping that the Magadins will eliminate that force. And yeah, it looks like they are. Fantastic. Get in there, Magadins. You can do it. There we go. Magadins stack wipe that force, so that should be the slave rebellion crushed. And now we're going to start up a siege over here. We're going to stop our force march. There we go. The slave revolt has been defeated. Cool. We'll show leniency for the slave happiness. Cool. Okay, so what is our drill here? We're at 7%. That's not great. These are at 40, so that's something. Well, we're going to siege this down. At a fake address. There we go. And this will be no real problem. And we lost a siege somewhere? Did they teleport here? Yes, they did. I don't know where that's happening from. Like, how did they get there? How are they doing that? I feel like that's a bug, but I don't know that for a fact. Karnata needs a governor, and that will be this guy. Cool. He's going to have some interesting opinions on what to be focusing on. I guess that's fine. I mean, we're so close to the end of the game, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. This siege will wrap up eventually. These guys are force marching away, and I'm hoping that the Magadins just chase them down. That would be the ideal scenario. So if this is all they have down here, we can probably end up winning against that. What is this icon? I want to look into that quick. So if we were to build to... Actually, we would need to go into here. Spearmen. Okay, noted. So they would counter our elephants? Do they counter elephants? This is not actually telling us. Damage versus spearmen plus 10%. So I think elephants counter spearmen. Okay. The Magadins fought them up over here and won. That's very, very good. And we're about to have this siege finish up. So that looks fine. Once we're done, we'll force march these mercs up over here and be in position to fight the Seleukids for next episode. 57%. I would have preferred to be a little further along. They're hiring these mercs, but I don't believe that those mercs matter. Ooh, we didn't get that tick there. I was expecting to win the siege there. But this should be enough regardless. Those mercs have no morale. They're leaving. Yeah, this is fine. So from here, we're going to force march these guys, and they are going to make their way out over this direction. Cool. We'll let this auto cap occur, and then we'll end this war. We had a researcher die. We'll replace him. Cool. And we had a governor die. We'll replace him as well. And at this point, we will sue for peace. We are going to take this. There we go. We'll lose half a point of AE. Beautiful. And that is done. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to attack the Seleukids and maybe... Do I have a CB on them? We have a CB to show superiority. But I kind of want to start fabricating a claim on them. There we go. Okay. So we'll get that started. That'll be done. Okay, that's going to be a while. We're probably going to do the show superiority CB. After all, I kind of don't expect the war to be over by the time the game is over, so it probably doesn't matter. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, MLohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kintogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Anna the Elephant, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.